teachings of Rabbi Ephraim Sprecher, Dean of Students at Diaspora Yeshiva on Mount Zion, Jerusalem.
Chodesh Tov Varach, Chodesh Sivan. This week is Chag Shavuot, Chag Matan Torah. It says in Exodus 19, Vayichan Sham Yisrael Neget Ahar. Israel camped there, Neget Ahar, in front of the mountain. So Rashi wonders, there were 600,000 men, besides women and children. 600,000 men between 20 and 60. What about the men over 60, under 20? What about the women and children? There were millions of people there. So Rashi wonders, it should have said, Vayachnu Sham Yisrael. Right? Vayachnu, they camped there in front of the mountain to get the Torah. So how come instead of Vayachnu, they camped, it says Vayichan. He camped in the singular when there were millions of people there. So Rashi says, Ke'ish echad belev echad. It's written in the singular to teach that even though there were millions of Jews there, they all were like one person with one heart, united as one to get the Torah. And this was the only time that they united. But Rashi says all the other times there was machlokis, tarumot, bickering, 2 Jews, 3 opinions. You know, 2 Jews got shipwrecked on an island, so they built 3 shuls. One shul I'll go to, the other shul you'll go to, and the third shul we both won't go to. Jews like to bicker, to disagree, 2 Jews, 3 opinions, but at Matan Torah, the Jews came together as one. Therefore, we say in Dayenu on Pesach, it would have come to Har Sinai and even not get the Torah, Dayenu. Why Dayenu? To come to Har Sinai and not get the Torah? What's Dayenu? Dayenu, just for the fact that we united once. That's so important. For that alone, it would have been enough to come to Har Sinai. Why is Achdut so important to God? Why, if we would not have united, God would not have been able to give us the Torah? Why is Achdut so important? The answer is, there are 613 mitzvahs in the Torah. But how to keep all Taryag mitzvahs? Some mitzvahs apply only to women, other mitzvahs apply only to Levites, other mitzvahs apply only to Kahanim. It's impossible for one Jew to do all the mitzvot. So for Kabbalah Torah, we have to unite in order to mekabel all Taryag as one unit, because no Jew on his own is able to do all of the mitzvot. Only when we're united as one, only then are we be able to fulfill all of the Taryag mitzvot. Therefore, it's written Vayichan in the singular and not Vayachnu in the plural. And then the Torah goes on in Exodus 19. Hashem tells to Moshe, tell the Beit Yaakov, and then tell the Bnei Yisrael. What's the difference between the Beit Yaakov and the Bnei Yisrael? Isn't it redundant? Aren't we called Beit Yaakov and also Bnei Yisrael? So Rashi says, Beit Yaakov, these are the ladies. The Bnei Yisrael are the men. So from here we learn out that God is a gentleman, Kavayochel. Ladies first. Because in Exodus 19, he tells Moses, Ko Toma LeBeit Yaakov. First tell the Torah to the ladies, and only then Bnei Yisrael to the men. From here you learn out that ladies first. Women are more godlike. Therefore, the Maral says the word emunah, the word shechina, the word neshama, the word Torah, the word mitzvah are all feminine. Word shechina. Women say, Shasani Kirtzono, God, you made me exactly the way you are. And therefore, women do not have to do so many mitzvot. Because the tafkid of a mitzvah, the word mitzvah from the root sav, is to bond with Hashem. We need the props of so many mitzvot, of talis and tefillin and sukkah and lulav, to help us bond with Hashem. Women are naturally bonded, and therefore they don't need all the props of the time-bound mitzvot. They are naturally bonded to Hashem. So the Bet Yaakov is the ladies, and then the Bnei Yisrael is the men. Now, Chag Matan Torah. There's no date in the Torah. Like all the other Chagim, there's a specific date. There are no symbols for Shavuos. There's no lulav. There's no esrog. There's no matzah. There's no date for Shavuos. No symbols for Shavuos. Why is that? And not even a date, and just count 50 days. There's machlokas even when the Torah was given on the 6th or the 7th. Such a main event, how come it's not clear? Because Matan Torah began at Har Sinai, but it's an ongoing daily process. New revelations daily, and therefore we make the bracha on the Torah, Noten HaTorah. We don't say Natan HaTorah, even though the Torah was given 32 years ago. But we don't say Natan HaTorah. We make the bracha Noten HaTorah in the Lashon Hoveh, in the present tense. Because the Torah is given to us daily. And therefore it says in Devarim 5, Kol Gadol V'lo Yasaf. We heard God's great voice, V'lo Yasaf. And Onkelos and Rashi say it never ceased. Kol Gadol V'lo Yasaf. We heard God's great voice, and it never ceased. He continues to speak to us. Every time you open up the Chumash, a Talmud, a Gemara, God continues to speak to us. So the revelation at Sinai began then, 3,330 some odd years ago. But Kol Gadol Yosaf, it's an ongoing process. Daily, new revelations, we receive the Torah daily. And therefore we make the Torah, the bracha Noten HaTorah, and therefore there's no specific date, because every day is Matan Torah. And therefore there are no symbols for Shavuos, because you're not commemorating an event like Pesach and Sukkot. You commemorated an event, so you need to be reminded. Shavuos is an ongoing daily process, so you're not commemorating an ancient event, and therefore there are no symbols for Shavuos, and therefore there is no date. There will be a date for Shavuos, like Pesach and Sukkot, so just like you only have to eat matzah on Pesach, the rest of the year there's no mitzvah to eat matzah, right? Just Pesach. Just like you have to sit in a sukkah only on Sukkot, the rest of the year you don't have to. So the Torah would give a date for Shavuos. You would think you would only have to study Torah on Shavuos, and that's it. So the Torah specifically did not mention a date for Shavuos. You shouldn't think you only have to study Torah on that date. You only have to eat matzah on Pesach. No, the Torah has to be studied each and every single day. Today is the first day of the rest of your life. Then the Torah says, Vitem li sigula mikol amim. When you get the Torah, you will be sigula. So the Baal HaTurim says the word sigula is from the word segol. Segol in Hebrew means a triangle. Vitem li sigula mikol amim. What mean a triangle? So the Baal HaTurim says something incredible. After we accepted the Torah, we became part of the love triangle. They say three is a crowd. The love triangle. HaKadosh Baruch Hu, the Torah, and Am Yisrael. We are part of the love triangle. Sigula. Three is a crowd? No, not when it comes to the Torah. HaKadosh Baruch Hu, the Torah, and Am Yisrael, Chad. We're all part of the love triangle, Segula, bound forever in eternal love to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. And therefore the Chag is called Chag Shavuot. Shavuot doesn't only mean weeks, but the word Shavuah also means an oath. Chag Shavuot, says the Ramban, the festival when God and the Jewish people exchanged vows. We exchanged wedding vows. We swore, Nasa v'nishma, and God swore, v'yitem li sigula mikol amim. God swore eternal love and allegiance to us, and we swore eternal love and allegiance to Kodesh Baruch Hu, and therefore the Chag is called Chag Shavuot, the festival of exchanging marital vows. And the Torah is the Ketubah. The Torah is the Ketubah between God and the Jewish people. Then the Torah goes on and tells us in Exodus 19 that the Jewish people stood betachtit ahar. We stood underneath the mountain. That's what the text says, Exodus 19:17. How can you stand underneath the mountain? So Rashi quotes the Gemara in Shabbos, page 88. God lifted up the mountain over our heads like a barrel. And he said, if you accept the Torah, fine. And if not, there will be your burial ground. It's a shocking statement. First of all, we said Nasa v'nishma. First of all, we said we'll accept the Torah. So why did God have to force us after we accepted the Torah already? We said Nasa v'nishma. And question number 2, is that any way to begin a loving relationship? A shotgun wedding? Forcing us to say I do? So what's the explanation over here? We know the Ramban says that the Talmud consists of 2 sections, halacha and agadah. Only the halachic part of the Talmud must be taken literally. The agadah, like this statement, that God lifted the mountain over our heads like a barrel, that's an agadah, that's a metaphor. What does it mean? And why lift the mountain over our heads like a barrel? Why not lift the mountain over our head like a mountain? What's the metaphor of a barrel? Say God lifted up the mountain over our heads like a mountain and threatened us. Why did he say the mountain became a barrel? Roll out the barrel, we'll have a barrel of fun. So the answer is, it's not a threat. A barrel is hollow. A barrel cannot hurt you. A barrel is made to contain the precious liquid inside, whether it's wine, whether it's oil. God held the mountain over our heads like a barrel. It's a metaphor. And he said, if you accept the Torah, fine. If not, there will be your burial. What means there? Should have said, here will be your burial. What's the explanation? There will be your burial if you don't accept the Torah? Sham, it should have said po. Proper Hebrew would be, here will be your burial if you do not accept the Torah. What do you say, Sham, over there? So the answer is, it's not a threat. HaKadosh Baruch Hu was saying, if you accept the Torah will preserve you like a barrel preserves the precious liquid inside. The Torah will preserve you forever. You'll become an eternal people. A barrel can't hurt you. A barrel is meant to protect and preserve. If you accept the Torah, God says, you will be preserved forever. Contained within the holy barrel of Torah, you will be an eternal nation. But if you don't accept the Torah, sham, not po. Sham, there. Where is there? Outside the barrel. In other words, if you don't accept the Torah, you will become a regular nation. Eventually, you'll perish. You'll join the Phoenicians, the Babylonians, the Assyrians, the Greeks, the Canaanites, the Egyptians, the Romans. Where are they? They're all under 60 feet of sand. Because they didn't have the barrel of Torah to preserve and protect them. So God is not threatening at us at all. He's telling us if you accept the Torah will preserve you like a barrel preserves precious liquid inside. If you do not accept the Torah, then sham, there. Where is there? Outside the Torah. Without the Torah, eventually you will perish. You will wind up like the Phoenicians and the Assyrians and the Babylonians. The reason that we are eternal people, unlike all the other nations that are extinct, the ancient nations, it's not a threat. We are inside the barrel of Torah that preserves us and protects us for eternity. So why did God have to force us? He said, Nasa v'nishma. He said, Nasa v'nishma. So why did God have to force us? Well, you already said, I do. There's an amazing verse in Vayikra 26. God says, if you sin, I will exile you, and I will bring you to the land of your enemies. So God says, I myself will bring them. Even when we go into Galut, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, it's a midah Torah, that wherever Jews go, God goes along with them. You're never alone, even in exile. And when we're in exile, and the Jewish people came to Yecheskel, and they said, a man divorces his wife, the wife no longer owes allegiance to her husband. So perhaps we don't have to keep the Torah anymore. So God tells Ezekiel chapter 20, forget about it. What you think will not happen, I will force you to accept the Torah. Against your will, you will remain loyal to the Torah. Ezekiel 20, which is very problematic because that seems to go against the principle of what? Of free will. The Rambam says the whole Jewish religion stands on free will. So where's our free will? The Jews told Yecheskel 20, we want to chuck the Torah. God kicked us out of the land. We no longer owe allegiance to him. So how can God force us to keep the Torah? Doesn't that contradict the principle of free will, which Rambam says the whole Jewish religion stands on? So the answer is as follows. My Rabbi Rapam said, Reb Yisrael has free will. Am Yisrael doesn't have free will. The reason God forced us, an individual Jew has free will to accept the Torah or reject the Torah. That's Reb Yisrael, the Yochid. But Klal Yisrael as an entity, the Jewish nation as a whole does not have free will. And therefore God had to force us, even though we said Nasa v'nishma, to prove this principle. In Vayikra 26, in Ezekiel 20, the individual Jew has free will to accept the Torah or reject the Torah. But the reason why God forced us anyway at Mamad Har Sinai is to prove this principle. Individuals have free will, but the nation as a whole, the entity of Klal Yisrael, has no free will. Because we are an eternal people. And God promised Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob that we are an eternal people. And that can only be if we keep the Torah. So individuals can fall away and reject the Torah. But the nation as a whole, God tells Ezekiel 20, the nation as a whole must be forced to keep the Torah because there has to be an eternal Klal Yisrael. Individuals fall away. But Am Yisrael, as a nation, will always be there. This is the eternal promise that God promised Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. And to prove this point, God forced us anyway, even though we said Nasa v'nishma. Reb Yisrael, or Reb Yankel, has free will to accept or reject the Torah. Am Yisrael, as a nation, the entity of Klal Yisrael, has no free will. We must remain an eternal people. That's only by keeping the Torah as a unity, as an entity. And to prove that point, therefore God forced us, even though we said Nasa v'nishma. So, was it a shotgun wedding? Wasn't really a shotgun wedding. It's a metaphor. Only the halachic part of the Talmud must be kept literally. The Haggadah is a metaphor. The Ramban told us that the Talmud consists of two sections. Only the halachic part of the Talmud must be kept literally. The Haggadah, like God lifted the mountain over our heads, not like a mountain, like a barrel, that is a metaphor to teach this principle. That God loves us and will preserve us like a barrel preserves the precious liquid inside. We are God's precious wine. We are God's precious olive oil. In order to get the precious liquid, whether wine or whether oil, first you have to squeeze and crush and pound the grape and the olive. Then you get the precious olive oil, and then you get the precious what? Wine. So we are God's olive oil. We are God's wine, preserved in the holy barrel of Torah. But in order to get us to shine, God has to squeeze us and crush us. Only then can you obtain the precious olive oil. When the olive is beaten and crushed, when the grape is beaten and crushed, only then can you extract the precious liquid inside contained in the barrel of Torah for eternity. Thank you, and Chag Sameach.
For more of Rabbi Sprecher's teachings, visit rabbisprecher.com.